So desirable change. So what is the meaning of desirable? In English, what is the meaning of desirable? Please type. Don't speak. Please type if you can.
Can I tell?
Yeah, so desirable is something that we want. We want it to happen. That is what desirable means. So desirable changes are changes that we want and that are good for us. Very good, Avni. So a change brought about by a person or nature which is useful is a desirable change. Okay. So what is the definition of a desirable change? A change brought about by a person or nature which is useful. How is curd made, guys? Do you guys know how curd is made? Why do we change milk to curd? So a lot of people cannot digest milk very easily, okay? Whereas curd is very easily digestible, okay? So a lot of people, they have lactose intolerance, so they cannot digest curd very easily and milk very easily. So when you convert milk to curd, it is more easily digestible, okay? So that is a desirable change. And then animal dung and dead leaves, you can convert those into useful manure. Does anybody know what manure is? What is manure? It's a fertilizer. Okay, so when you have animal dung and dead leaves, these are all waste materials, right? We don't have anything much to do with them, but we can put them to good use. You can convert that to manure and you can use that for raising crops. So something that is waste can be used, and that is a desirable change for us. It's a natural fertilizer. Then melting of snow in summer. What happens when the snow melts or when ice melts? What do you get?
Ma'am, water.
Very good. So when snow melts, you get water, and then this water goes into the rivers. Okay, so the rivers don't run out of water, they don't run dry. It's getting new or fresh supply of water when the snow melts. So this melting of snow in the summer, we require, already in the summer we have shortage of water in the cities, and lots of places we have shortage of water. So when the snow melts in the summer, it supplies fresh water to all these places which have shortage of water. Okay, so it is a desirable change. We want that. Okay, the next thing, change from winter to summer. When the weather changes from winter to summer, what happens? Because of the heat, the water evaporates. Water from the oceans, water, the water cycle, right? So water from the oceans, from the lakes, all of this water evaporates, and where does it go? And what does it form? All this evaporated water goes into the clouds. Yes. Then from the clouds, once the clouds gets heavy and it cools down, water vapor condenses to form rain, and then the rain, it pours onto the crops, and then so all this entire water cycle is a desirable change. It's something that helps us. It's something that's useful, grow crops and all of that. Okay, so let's move forward. So this is what desirable change is. Now let's look at undesirable changes. So in the first picture, if we see, there is a campfire and people are roasting marshmallows on it. So what is happening? The heat from the campfire is cooking the marshmallow, and then you can eat it as a dessert or as a sweet or whatever. And so this heat is useful to us because this heat is cooking the food, right? So this heat is useful to us. But what happens when the same heat is burning the house? Then what happens? It is not useful to us. In fact, it is destructive to us. Okay, it is harmful to us. Yes. So when the same fire, when the same heat burns the house, it can be dangerous, it can be harmful. So this change is a change brought about by a person or nature such that it has harmful effects, such that it leads to failure, is called an undesirable change. For example, food turns bad very easily in the summer. Okay, and when food turns bad, what happens? You end up getting bad taste and you end up falling sick also. And flooding of rivers in rainy season. So during rainy seasons, there's a lot of rain, and the rivers overflow. And then what happens when the rivers overflow? There is flood. And what happens if there is flood? Lots of things, right? Like, I mean, roads get damaged, people lose their lives, houses get destroyed, lots of things happen. So this is like a disaster, okay? What happens when you break a glass object? When you break a glass object, it cannot be put back together, okay? So that is also an undesirable change. If I have, if let's say I have a favorite glass in my house and I like to drink my tea in that cup, and that cup breaks, and I, will I be able to have tea in that cup again? No. So I'm going to be upset, and it's not a desirable change. It is not something that I want. So rusting of articles of iron. What happens when iron rust? So if I have a table that is made up of iron, the object loses its lust. But what else happens? It gets weak. Rusting of articles of iron lead them to being weak. Okay, so change which is desirable at one time may be undesirable at some other time. For example, we looked at the fire. In one case, that change or that cooking or the heat from that fire was desirable to us because it gives us warmth, it cooks our food. So heat from the fire is desirable to us. When your house catches fire, then that heat is not desirable, that fire is not desirable. So changes which are desirable at one point may be undesirable at some other time.